Inside the sterile boxes of modern genetic laboratories, events are unfolding today that only yesterday were considered pure science fiction. Scientists have learned to read DNA molecules damaged by time and literally rewrite the code of life. Before you is a list of 7 unique creatures whose return to our planet is no longer a matter of fantasy, but a calculated technological plan. Some of these animals disappeared due to human fault quite recently, while others have not walked the Earth for entire millennia. Fasten your seatbelts, because right now, biologists are erasing the very boundary between life and death. This amazing mountain animal went down in history as the first species that scientists managed to bring back after complete extinction. The last representative of the species, named Celia, tragically died in the wild at the very beginning of our century. Biologists managed to freeze her skin cells, preserving the precious genetic material for future generations. A few years later, researchers transferred the nuclei of these cells into the eggs of domestic goats and implanted them into surrogate mothers. As a result of this complex experiment, a live cloned kid of the long-extinct Pyrenean Ibex was born. Unfortunately, this scientific triumph lasted only 7 short minutes due to a congenital lung defect in the baby. However, this brief life proved to the entire world that physically overcoming extinction is technically possible. Today, an international team of scientists is using new CRISPR-precise genome editing methods to correct past embryo development errors. Specialists intend to raise healthy, viable ibex offspring free from respiratory system pathologies. The ultimate goal of the project remains the full return of these graceful ungulates to their native mountain ecosystems in Spain. At one time, these birds were the most numerous feathered creatures in the territory of all North America. Billion-strong flocks of passenger pigeons literally blocked out the sun for several days during migration. Unfortunately, uncontrolled hunting and deforestation destroyed this colossal species incredibly quickly. The last representative, named Martha, quietly faded away in a zoo cage in the autumn of 1914. Now, the Revive and Restore Foundation is actively working on the genetic recreation of this legendary bird. Scientists took the genome of their closest living relative, the band-tailed pigeon, as a basis. Using modern technologies, researchers are replacing key parts of the living bird's DNA with reconstructed genes of the extinct one. This painstaking process requires the precise alteration of billions of nucleotide pairs in living cells. The resulting embryos are planned to be raised in artificial incubators with the help of surrogate bird parents. The return of the passenger pigeon should restore natural balance and trigger the natural renewal of American forests. This unique Australian amphibian possessed the most amazing and strange reproduction system on the planet. The female swallowed her fertilized eggs and literally brooded her offspring in her own stomach. During pregnancy, the frog's stomach completely stopped producing hydrochloric acid, turning into a temporary uterus. The species completely disappeared from the wild in the mid-1980s due to a dangerous fungal disease. An Australian project called Lazarus set an ambitious goal to bring this frog back to life. Biologists used genetic material frozen 40 years ago to conduct somatic cell cloning. Scientists have already successfully transplanted a dead nucleus of the extinct frog into a living egg of a related species. The resulting hybrid embryo began to divide actively, which became a colossal breakthrough for global science. Now, the team is working on making these dividing cells develop into a full-fledged tadpole. The resurrection of this species will help scientists understand unique mechanisms of shutting down gastric secretion for human medicine. This unusual animal from South Africa externally resembled a striking mixture of a common zebra and a horse. The front part of the quagga's body was covered with classic stripes, while the back part remained completely solid and bay. Boers and European colonists mercilessly exterminated these trusting animals for their durable hides and meat. The last quagga on the planet died in an Amsterdam zoo in 1883. A century later, scientists discovered that the quagga was not a separate species, but only a subspecies of the plains zebra. This discovery made it possible to launch a unique backbreeding program called the Quagga Project. Breeders select individuals among modern zebras with the least number of stripes on the back of their bodies. From generation to generation, scientists fix these external traits, recreating the historical appearance of the animal. Today, a whole herd of so-called Rao quaggas, strikingly similar to the original, already lives in a South African reserve. The project clearly proves that restoring the lost appearance of nature is possible even without complex test tube manipulations. This mighty wild bull was once the true ruler of the forests and steppes of all Eurasia. The huge animals, weighing nearly a ton, possessed colossal strength, and long horns curved forward. Due to active hunting and deforestation, the Aurochs population rapidly declined over many centuries. The last female Aurochs died in a Polish forest in 1627. Today, European scientists are running several large-scale projects at once to bring back this legendary giant. Geneticists found that the DNA of the wild primitive bull is still preserved in the genes of some ancient breeds of cattle. Using methods of selection and backbreeding, biologists are restoring the lost traits of the wild ancestor step by step. The newest programs also use targeted DNA editing to precisely copy genes from fossilized aurochs bones. The resulting bulls, named tauros, are already being released into the European wild for natural grazing. The return of such a large herbivore is vitally necessary to prevent forest fires and maintain open pastures. This large flightless bird once inhabited the cold rocky islands of the entire northern part of the Atlantic Ocean. Externally, it was strikingly similar to a penguin, although evolutionarily it had no close relationship to it. Humans exterminated the great auks for centuries for their soft down, tasty meat and valuable fat used for lamps. The last pair of these defenseless birds was brutally killed by hunters off the coast of Iceland in 1844. Today, a research team is actively studying preserved museum specimens to extract fragments of ancient DNA. The closest living relative of the great Aurochs is the razorbill, which will serve as the genetic donor for the project. Biologists plan to replace key parts of the living bird's genome with unique genes from its giant flightless cousin. The role of surrogate parents for raising the first chicks can be assumed by other large seabirds. Scientists hope to repopulate the isolated rocky islands of the North Atlantic, which are closed to tourists, with great auks. Restoring this species will return an important marine predator to the fragile coastal ecosystem of the cold northern seas. This giant marine mammal from the order Sirenia lived exclusively off the coast of the Commander Islands. The animal reached 8 meters in length, weighed about 4 tons, and fed on coastal kelp. The helpless and trusting giants completely lacked the ability to dive and swam slowly near the water's surface. Expeditions of fur traders completely exterminated the entire species in just 27 years after its discovery by man. Now, geneticists are extracting DNA from well-preserved bones of Steller's sea cow found in the permafrost. High-quality genetic material allows scientists to decipher the complete genome map of this vanished giant in detail. A manatee or dugong could become the surrogate mother for future embryos. Although they are significantly smaller than the sea cow, scientists plan to use artificial womb incubators to safely carry such large calves in the laboratory. Reintroducing this peaceful giant will help restore the balance of kelp forests and improve the ecology of Pacific coasts. This project will be the most ambitious example of correcting a historical injustice committed by humans against nature. Science is slowly but surely proving to us that species extinction is no longer an irreversible tragedy. With each passing year, technologies for editing the code of life are becoming more precise, accessible, and safe. Perhaps within our lifetimes, these amazing creatures will once again take their rightful places in the wild. We are left only to decide whether we are ready to take responsibility for the fate of this new world.